Hello, 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 my friends. Welcome back to Megra's Place. My name is Megan, and from what you can already see on your screen, today I am here with a new game. It is about to go into its 1.0 release, and this is Voltaire, the Vegan Vampire. This has been described as a rogue-like farming sim game, and it has spooky, creepy vibes, and it is just perfect for this time of year. So I had originally filmed this with voiceover commentary, and then disaster struck when I realized I hadn't pressed record on my microphone. So we are re-recording all of the audio, and I've sped it up a little bit, and we will just have a look-see at my first impressions. I was very disappointed that you weren't able to get my unique actual first impressions as I was going through the game, but it is what it is, and this is what we are going to test out. So what you have seen so far is we are in the tutorial. So Voltaire is a vampire who has decided that he just doesn't want to eat blood. So he likes vegetables. So he is a vegan. So he has left out on his own, and he is going to start a farm. The tutorial is run by getting letters from our uncles Frank and Stein, which is absolutely hilarious. They are one body with two heads, monster, and we keep getting letters from them as they are helping us to build up our farm and learn different things to do. So here you can see I have my house here, my vampire there in the middle, and I have a bunch of farm plots. So I am testing out Dash, which you can do. And right now we're going to set up some traps, or I'm learning about the traps, which will help us later on when the roguelite aspects start to come in. But for the first day here, I am just checking out my farm. We have some tasks to collect water from a dropling. The water mechanic is really unique in this game. So we're going to collect water from a dropling. We got to collect some seeds, and we have to survive 7 nights. Unlike some farming games that have a stamina bar, what you'll see along the top there, I just got 10 more. It's our hunger meter. So you need to keep your hunger down, because if your hunger goes up too high, then that is what will lead to a disaster later on, which we don't actually know right now at this point in the game. But that is the one thing is actions, certain types of actions take hunger or create more hunger. We can harvest from berry bushes, the crowberry bushes we can harvest. Oh, here we go. So you shake a bush and water droplets fall out, and then you have to run around and catch them. And that is, I think, one of the most unique water mechanics I've ever seen. I know for a fact it will get annoying at some point, but spoiler alert, there is a well that will come up in a little while. But the water droplets make the cutest little sound. All right, so we are back with our tutorial with Uncle Frankenstein here. And they are letting us know how we can grow veggies. They are writing us instructions. They are constantly in disagreement. And they are telling us the crows are going to watch us. So the crows keep an eye and they report back to our uncles. So here we're learning how to plant some seeds. On the mouse and keyboard controls, most controls are F for planting seeds, clearing fields, watering. A lot of things are F and holding F, which is kind of nice. Then you're not remembering too many controls. I actually found the controls were overall pretty good on this game. I didn't have any major complaints. Okay, so we've finished up, and they're going to give us some time to grow. But it means we have to get through the night. So we have to get through the night with our hunger without getting it too high. Here they are discussing. So they're telling us we should probably conjure traps around our crops, kiddo, just in case. So this is where we're going to test out these traps. So the way it works is you get 3 traps to start off with, and you can place them down. If you do make a mistake, when you go to place the 4th trap, which I think you'll see in just a second here, when we go to place the 3rd trap, it will move the previous one. All right, that was easy enough. Dear Voltaire, it looks like you're all set. It would have been awkward to go through all that hard work only to lose your crops. All right, so why is it awkward? What might be happening? I don't know if we've heard yet, but our father is sending his minions out to attack us in the evening, and that is why we need to protect our crops with traps. So here we have a Veggiepedia, which is kind of like the journal, sort of like the journal in some other ones. It's going to tell us all about the different vegetables we can grow. I really enjoy it. It also shows us some unique things like which baddies these vegetables attract. It also shows us which attacks some of our flowers have. So this little fang maw here, he's a melee attack. So he's a plant that can actually help protect the plants. Eggling, it attracts an enemy spawn, which we'll find out about later. So we gotta watch out because certain plants will actually attract bad guys. Bad guys come regardless, but we get different types of bad guys depending on which plants we've planted, which is very unique and very different. So it's a different way to have that battle aspect. So if you are someone who isn't as into the fighting, this might not be for you, but it is I have found the fighting mechanic, the battle mechanic is very, isn't too complicated. So, and it just makes it adds a little level of something to the game. Okay, so here we are going to sleep in our coffin to begin a night. That is the next sort of step, is to enter the house and go to sleep. So I've decided I'm going to eat some things to bring down my hunger. Different plants bring your hunger down a different amount. So here we go. I'm in pretty good shape. I'm going to plant some more plants to get my harvest going. Poor innocent Voltaire, who does not know what is coming for him this coming evening. It's just going to get his little plants going. He's so full of hope and dreams of starting a new life as a farmer, and he's just so adorable. We do have a few things here in our inventory that we don't yet have a use for. So what I was saying earlier, the crowberries, we can actually harvest and they don't use any, they don't increase our hunger at all. So they're ones that are really good when you're in a pinch and you have to bring your hunger down fast. Okay, so we have a wardrobe, we have an alchemy table in our home, and we have a reliquarium. We also have a heartstone. So the reliquarium is where we kind of keep our boosts, like our skill boosts in some ways, the things that give us extra advantage. Alchemy table, we can create seeds, we can create planks, your basic kind of workshop stuff. I also do kind of like that you can make seeds if needed. Is unique. And then here's our wardrobe, so we can change. So I do have, what you'll see, we have Voltaire, we have a costume for Morgana, and then I have two, which are two unicorns, one for unicorn onesies, one for Voltaire and one for Morgana. And those are actually, they may be gone now, but they were, if you bought the game in early access, those were 2 bonuses. So that was part of the reason why I had to hurry to buy the game before the early access period ended, because I just really wanted those costumes. Here we have a composter where we can actually compost seeds into other things. I don't remember what it was. Bloodstones, I think. So, okay, we have reached the night phase. You might notice that I have decided to put a costume on as Morgana. And we are in the night phase now. So we've switched into a sort of creepy vampire mode. And here we have little dudes who are coming. Our father has sent them to attack our crops. So they are going to attack our crops. What you might have noticed is they have destroyed a couple of those plants we worked so hard to plant. And they will basically do that every single night. Fighting them isn't too bad. It's actually, I found it fairly straightforward. There's obviously some strategies that you kind of learn as you go. So the first night, I don't think I used my special ability at all, which I will learn later. And there's a few things that actually help us. All right, so now we're gonna get our letters again, and we're pretty much complaining to Uncles Frankenstein that how dare we had some things. So they are going to attack our plants, they're going to attack our house, and we have to keep both of those alive. Now, Uncles Frankenstein are acknowledging that we don't really like violence, but unfortunately our father has sent us these guys and we're going to have to fight them. He's also said that in some ways we're doing them an act of kindness because the way that our father has bewitched them and taken their souls, we are releasing them back to their bodies. So as one of the uncles said, it's a thwacking of kindness. So sort of bringing a little bit of a positive twist to the combat that's in the game. And as I said, if you are someone who definitely doesn't want any combat, then I would say steer clear of this game. But if you're up for a little bit, it's definitely fun. It's not too tricky. And it's, I don't know, it's oddly addicting and interesting to just protect your plants and your house. All right, so he's just going to tell us a little bit more about the things we've already discovered. And how our wardrobes work, how our alchemy table works. One thing I'll note here is they will still keep referring to me as Voltaire, even though I am currently in a costume of Morgana, which I don't know if that'll be something that comes later on, that they might make it so you can actually be Morgana and the tutorial will talk to you and adapt to that. But for the moment, all of the tutorial language and pictures still show Voltaire, even if you are in costume as Morgana. So just something to note about that. I don't know if that'll change. As I said, I am playing the version that is still in early access. It hasn't yet hit its 1.0 release yet, so still some things that will come in that release. All right, so here we're checking out some things. I think we have a quest to compost some seeds. So we've composted some seeds into a bloodstone, I think, which helps us increase our skills. It will help us do different things. Okay, that was supposed to be soup, yes. The composter was initially supposed to be soup that just did not work out. Honestly, I'm not reading this all to you right now. I did read it during my original recording. The dialogue in the tutorial is great. I had such a blast reading it. Here we are learning about soul stones, which are important things, and those will help us protect our house. They're going to help us get special abilities, and sending a crystal's energy on alchemical remedies, and it also returns the souls to their original owners. So we are going to be freeing some souls by using these soul stones here. And Uncle Stein is quite graciously sending us some of Uncle Frank's soul stones. So they can be grown, and so I believe we can plant soul stones at one point, and we can grow them, and we use them in alchemy. I think we use them in our requiem here. So we'll check out the alchemy table. This is where we have soul stones. They're kind of the currency, I guess, in the game. And then here in our reliquarium, that's the word. It is sort of, it's not exactly leveling up, but these are kind of our skills and special abilities that we can get. So here, the heart stone, we can increase our how much hunger our crowberries restore in us. We can get extra inventory. We can have more soul stones dropped by the soul stone bush. Oh my goodness, that word is difficult to say. So here I have picked, I'm not sure what I picked. I picked how much that our hunger will be restored by more with crowberries, because right now mostly what we have is crowberries, and that there will be more soul stones dropped, because I figure it's a good thing to get as many soul stones as we can so that we can increase ourselves more. All right. That felt great. He's hoping those souls can find their way back to where they were. I really just enjoy that Uncle Frank and Stein, even though they are monsters and they kind of side with their father, they're also very supportive of Voltaire and helping him out and understanding his choice. Here they are telling us we can cast soul berries around our crops, so we learn a little bit more about the things that we can do and the strategies we can take to protect our plants. Also, there's this whole thing going on with Frankenstein, like it is there. You have to play it. I'm not going to read it all, but it is great. I really enjoyed the banter between them. I kind of hope that they'll be in the game a little bit more later, since we're in story mode here when we go past the tutorial. But we'll have to wait and see. Okay, so here I have activated one of my soul stones. I'm going to do some field cleaning, and I believe I'm going to try and plant some stuff. I've got us a attack plant planted. I think I planted a soul stone bush here. I'm going to plant some things, and I'm going to go out and do some harvesting. So we are on, we're just on day 2. So we've only had one thing. So I'm going to shake some stuff. So there I got some, they call them seeds. I'm going to collect me some water. And I hope that you can hear right now, but the sound is obviously sped up a little bit, but the water droplings make this little drop sound all throughout, and they have the cutest facial expressions. Like, all of me would like a plushie of a water dropling. Just saying. I think there is a market for them because they're adorable. Dash is really unique, so you don't have a sprint like you do in a lot of farming games, but you can dash, and that's that really fast movement that you can see me doing every once in a while where I look like I'm on fire. It's a little tricky to navigate because I don't always find that I end up where I wanted to, but I'm getting better at it. So that does take a little bit of getting used to. All right, so my hunger is up to 71 right now. So I probably should eat, but I'm gonna keep on keeping on. I'm getting warnings that my hunger is getting pretty high. Okay, I'm gonna eat some food. The problem that I have is that I only have crowberries today. So when the baddies come and attack our plants, sometimes we don't get veggies to eat. So we have to basically live on the crowberries, and there is a limited number of crowberry bushes around our farm. I never mentioned, I had it in my original. One of the things that drew me to this game is the art style. If you notice, it is very creepy, spooky. It's got a really cool hand-drawn look almost. It really reminds me of Don't Starve. That was kind of what I thought of when I first saw it. And the combination of that Don't Starve aesthetic and vampires and farming sim, I was all over it. I actually thought about buying this game a couple months ago, bought something else instead, and then once we hit spooky season, I was like, nope, it has to happen. All right, we're back in another night phase. This time we've got our plants, got a force field around them, and we're going to attack some baddies. We can see some different bad guys have come this time because I think there's a few that are attracted to our soulstone bushes. So they are a little harder to fight than the little skull and crossbone guys. So you will notice this night is a little bit more intense. I'm having a bit of a more difficult time. All my plants have been lost, and these guys have gone back to start attacking my house. So one of the things that I'm still working on figuring out is protecting both my plants and my house. And you'll see my strategy kind of get better even as we go along throughout the first few days that we play. So it is something that takes a little bit to get used to, but the game gives you the time to do that and introduces the new things in a pretty good way, I find. So they are currently discussing, I'm not sure what there's some headbanging that has gone on here a little bit. So I'm not really sure what they're going to tell us to do right now. The alchemy works. They're going to tell us a little bit about some other things. So I think that we are learning how to create some other things like planks and bricks. Yes, planks and bricks. So we're going to spend some time today trying to collect enough resources to actually make some planks and some bricks. Gotta eat us some berries. You'll notice that our hunger isn't going down quite as much because we don't have any good nutritious veggies. These crowberries don't decrease our hunger by all that much. So, so as I was saying, the attack kind of gradually introduces you into more complexity. So I thought it was at a really great pace. I feel like it's not too overwhelming. But again, this is something you'll kind of have to take at your own pace. Any type of combat may not be something that you find cozy, in which case this will be a game you pass by. But I like the level so far. But again, I do kind of sometimes like that little bit of urgency, and that there's a bit of heightened urgency that it brings to a farm sim. So it's still chill and you're farming and doing kind of fun farming things, but you have a bit of a more urgent reason for why you have to. Like in a lot of farming sims, it doesn't really matter if you eat or not. Like your stamina will decrease, but other than that, there's no real danger to not eating. Whereas here, and I'm not sure if we found out quite yet or not, but here, if your hunger does get too high, that will actually increase the number of bad guys that come to you. So it kind of adds a bit more of a, what am I trying to say, an importance to growing the food. Like you do need to garden. In some of the other ones, if you don't garden, maybe you just don't make any money and your progress is slower that way. But in this one, if you don't garden, you don't actually get the food that you need to survive and to thrive as your little vegan vampire loving self. As part of our Vegipedia, we have our Baddiepedia, which is going to show us some of the bad guys that we've encountered. We've encountered quite a few, so this day I was like, what are these guys attracted by? And we also have some new veggies that will help us attack. So here we can see that coffin bean sprouts, they attack that like vampire guy. I'm not really sure what he is. I kind of like him. I'm probably going to look at him a little bit more. I mean, he's challenging, but okay, this is going to tell us this isn't where we're going to be able to build a well, but we've got to bump into some trees and rocks first to collect some. So as far as the daytime goes, I think it's a bit hard to tell right now in this video because, as I said, I've sped up about an hour and a bit's worth of video into about a 35-40 minute time period. So if you were worried that it looks like I'm going pretty quick and pretty speedy, that's not actually as fast as it looks. I figured since I lost all my original commentary, we might as well speed her up a little bit. Uncle Frank is now very distressed that he seems to have lost his soul stones, the ones that Uncle Stein quite nicely gave to us. So they're going to have a bit of a dispute there. The hilarious thing is that they are writing us letters and having this dispute in the letters, which is just hilarious. And I mean, I know that the devs have done it for the story, and you kind of get a story and you get drawn into it that way, but it's a really clever thing to do. Here, Uncle Frank is actually telling us that there's some other ways for us to find some food if we want. So there's Cthulhu, who lives in our little pond there, and if we feed him, he's going to give us gifts. We can also find little cracks in the ground that you might have noticed, which we can dig up for treasure chests. So I'm going to go out on my merry way and see as I'm collecting. And I think right now I am looking for the pond because, I mean, you may have noticed I've passed 2 ponds along the way. Now here, I've just completely bypassed that one. So I don't know if I just decided that that wasn't a pond that counted or if I legitimately didn't see it when I was playing through it. I noticed it now. Filming this commentary, but I don't even think I noticed it when I was editing the video. So here I am looking desperately for a little pond to feed our friend Cthulhu. Now, the mini game here does look like it's hard because it's going fast. It is going significantly slower, so it's not actually too hard to get into the sections that we need to get into to feed Cthulhu. It's actually, I really enjoyed the mechanic of this mini game. So we're going to feed him, and he's giving us some seeds, which are useful. I do believe at this point I was hoping to get food because seeds are all well and good, but my hunger is getting up there, and I don't actually have that much food to eat, which is a bit of a problem. So you'll see me here, I have crowberries, and I'm down to 59, but there's still some things I want to do in my day, and those things they increase your hunger. So you kind of have to balance and really think through what you can do in a day, because you can do all the things, but as you'll notice, my hunger is now at 85, so I've done quite a lot, and I don't actually have anything else to eat. I have depleted all my crowberries, so I'm going into the night at 85 hunger. All right. I don't remember if it's this night or not, but one of the nights gets a little bit intense. Okay, so I'm in this one here. You'll notice the fiery hole in the ground. I have started to use my special ability. So I discovered that if you put that special ability there, it will draw, some of the bad guys will fall into it and it will destroy them. So I don't have to actively destroy them. Perfect. I made it through the night and we have veggies. We also have a witch on a broom, Ilga. I think she sells some stuff. Purveyor of whimsical goods, collector of magical trinkets, connoisseur of fancy French words. So she has some stock. She sells some soul bricks. She sells some planks. Everything costs soul stones. Not too sure about that rotten tomato and moldy toast. I think those are things that our friend Cthulhu likes, our Kraken. So we've got our veggies, so that's actually good. The scullions give us a good chunk. They reduce our hunger by quite a lot. So on our, day 4, we're actually off to a really good start. Our quests here, we're going to collect us some more crowberries. Each of the crowberry bushes you can harvest from twice in one day. And there's a good amount. I mean, I always find myself wishing there were more. But if there were more crowberries, then it would decrease the difficulty. So since we're talking about difficulty, here they are quite happy that Cthulhu has decided not to eat me. Thank you so much, my friends. So we are aware that water droplings can be a chore. Go figure. It's hard enough to collect water when it's not running away from you. I mean, right? So here we are we've already been working our way towards building a well, but the tutorial is now leading us towards building a well. What I wanted to mention, and again didn't mention at the beginning, is what you may have seen when we first started off on the menu is that there are 3 modes. So I'm currently in story mode, and the other 2 modes are locked until you've completed the tutorial. So it does force you kind of through the tutorial, but I think that's good because there are a lot of unique mechanics to this game. And I don't think it would have been, I think there would have been some things you miss if you don't go through the tutorial. Not to mention you miss the great banter of Frankenstein, but I digress. There are 2 other modes that will unlock once we finish the tutorial. And I do plan on checking both of those out as well. I'm definitely going to continue with story mode, but I also want to check out the other 2. There is boss mode, which I think is more combat. Probably lots and lots of fighting. We'll see if you're really into the combat aspect. Boss mode is probably a method that you could go for. I will check it out, of course, and I'll do a video about it. And the other mode, which may interest some of you if you aren't interested in the bosses, this is like the opposite, is farm mode. And if I remember correctly, it looks like farm mode's not going to have the combat. So you can just do the farming, and I believe it'll probably have the hunger mechanic. I'm not sure. I haven't tested it out yet, but it'll be a little more chill. So a way that you can make it a little bit more cozy if you so desire, which I think is great. I am all for games giving us options like that. Like if I want to have a lot of fighting, give me the option to do all that extra combat and like frenzy. If I want to have a chill farming game, let me have a chill farming game. And I love that this gives the option. So I will, if you are interested in this game, stay tuned to my channel because I will definitely be checking that out. All right, we're gonna talk to Cthulhu here again, and I'm hoping that this form of video is something that you enjoy. I hope it works out. Let me know in the comments what you thought of it. I apologize. I feel like I'm talking really fast, and I think that's because I'm watching the video sped up while I'm doing the commentary. So I feel like I need to talk fast enough to give you all the information and everything that I'm doing. So that will be something that if I do more of these, I will need to work out, and I will get better at them. I will practice and I will slow down a little bit. So hopefully I am not talking too fast, because it's a tendency I have to talk fast as it is, and watching a little Morgana zip around super zippy quick is just making me want to talk that much faster. Okay, looks like I think we were able to make both our bricks and our planks. So we're going to go make our well. We've survived 3 nights so far. We're going to build our well. Okay, so it's going to take some hunger, I believe, to do. I think that's the dot. Yeah, so takes our hunger. Now here it's telling us what happens if we almost faint. And that will, if we faint, that will bring a night of aggressive baddies, which we don't want. we have built our well. Well, I think it takes a day before it produces water though. So here you will see me desperately trying to find some crowberry bushes that I haven't already harvested from. I'm not having much success at all. You'll also notice that I can dash without creating hunger. So dashing doesn't create hunger. Oh, as you can see in the top right corner, is that the right hand corner? We have the little crow with the letter. When we have a new letter, that little crow, along with a like dinging sound in the background, will continue. So it'll stay there, and that will continue until you've gone and looked at the message. And I think I can't quite decide if it's a mechanic that I love so that I don't forget that I have mail, or if it's annoying because the dinging of the mailbox drives me bananas. So when I first realized it, I was like, what is that sound? I did figure it out, and it is the mail. And I think it's nice that it doesn't let us forget that we have mail, but also it gets annoying quick if you're kind of on a mission, like I was on a mission to find food. We get some really great well puns in here, and I'll let you play and read it for yourself, or you can pause the video and slow it down to read that dialogue for yourself. But okay, we're going to go to sleep. Our hunger is very high. We're not really in great shape. I should have checked my soul stone to see how it was doing. That's actually one thing that I realized I missed doing too much while I was playing originally the first few days, is I didn't check what the house was at and the health of the house I get. And see, as you see, my house exploded, and that kind of is game over, but not really. You can choose to forget and make new choices, or choose to remember and trust your decisions. So one of them resets the skill tree, one of them preserves the skill tree. I chose, I believe, to preserve the skill tree. I'll have to try the other one at another time. It's going to tell us that it resets our day when we lose our house, and we lose some stuff. And I don't remember what else it said, but it does reset our day. And I think it resets our day, and we get the option to change some stuff on our skill tree, I believe. So, potentially, if that's the option that you had picked. In this case, it wasn't the option I had picked, so mine all stays the same. But I lost less loot the way that I did it. So, or did I lose more? Unknown. Either way, one of the options, you lose more loot and keep your skill. Regardless. Okay. One of the other things you might have noticed, though, was the bonus of our house getting destroyed was that we woke up on a reset day with our hunger in the middle. So we weren't still at 90. There's not much we can do because the day has been reset. So there are still some things we can do, but anything harvestable is still depleted. So the resource is still depleted. Our well hasn't refilled itself. Our crowberries are still all depleted. I can't speak. But we do have the chance to actually plant some more stuff. We are getting hungry, but I did take this opportunity to do a little bit of planting. I figured since it was going to give me a little bit more energy, I might as well get myself right back up to 90 hunger, but have some more plants planted to maybe put myself in a better position the next day. I'm going to remember this time to actually set my traps. See? Progress is being made. We are learning some things. Set my traps, and I'm going to go to sleep. I should get in the habit of checking the health of my soul stone every night, though. I think that would be a good thing to do. Or my soul stone, my house stone. All right, we're going to protect the house this time. I've put a trap up that way because that's the way I keep forgetting to pay attention to. I put my ability near my plants to protect them, and we're going to go at it. Okay, so the fighting this evening was a little bit frenzied. As you can see, lots of baddies, but it goes much better. Doing things like setting the traps is such a help. Go figure. Using a mechanic that's in the game is an actual help. Who would have thought? The sun is rising. We survived. So we have now survived 4 nights. Our house got destroyed on one of them. The nice thing is, though, that the house getting destroyed didn't actually game over us. We didn't have to start back from scratch. We get to keep on going. And I'm hoping that that's going to be the case once we pass the tutorial. I'm hoping that's not just a mechanic that happens when you're in the tutorial, and that if your house gets destroyed on another evening, you're done and have to start over again. But we will see. We will see. Okay, we're going to have a little bit of our chat here about how we are harvesting food in a graveyard because, you know, at least the devs addressed it. And we're going to have some discussion about Papa Victor. So what we do find as useful information here is that there's word that our father might be summoning a Grim Lord, I believe is what they are. They have a lot of powers, and I think they're like a really bad baddie. Uncle Stein has again had to do a hard reset on Uncle Frank over here. Because these Grim Lords, they're nothing to be a fan of, as we're being told. So I think they're going to kind of increase the difficulty. We don't want them to find our location. He says we might need to escape in a hurry. So they are telling us that we should make sure to plant lots of food because we might need to make a fast escape of it. That is the end of the tutorial. And it says we've unlocked boss rush and farming mode. We do still have a quest to survive 7 nights though. But at this point is when I started to discover that I might have had a problem with my microphone. So you're going to see me kind of float around here a little bit. And I will take this opportunity to wrap it up. I will be playing more of this, so we will see in the next video if I can survive the 7 nights. We're also going to see if things happen where maybe if the house collapses, we do have to start back at the beginning. But those are all things we will discover together. For now, though, I will say goodbye. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like it. Feel free to subscribe if you'd like to see more videos along this line, and I have a lot of different ideas, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye!